Hi, and welcome to the Fit Warrior Life podcast. I'm your host, Chitra Roshlani, NASM certified weight loss and body transformation coach. This podcast is focused on debunking myths, providing inspiration, tools, and resources to help you get in the best shape of your life, no matter what age, stage, or phase you're in. In this podcast, you will get to hear from real life warriors who are killing it in their fitness journey so they can inspire you. I will also bring in experts from different fields in the wellness arena so they can help us live our best life. And of course, since this entire journey began with my personal weight loss of 80 pounds 6 years ago, I will be sharing all of my biggest life lessons I have learned through the struggles and triumphs that I went through. My motto is win the mind, win the body, and I want to help you do just that. So let's get right to it. So today's podcast is about my friend and longtime client, Jini. Now, Jini has not had your typical weight loss transformation, but she has indeed gone on to become a much stronger and more badass version of herself. I can't wait for you to hear her story. Let's go right to it. Welcome, Jini. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Me too. I've been looking forward to it.
Yay. All right. Let's get right to it. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. We're going to have some conversations about our journey together. We've known
Mhm.
each other for a long time now.
Yep.
Let's go back to the beginning and really talk about where were you before you met me in your fitness journey? What were you doing? Did you have a
Yeah.
routine? What was going on?
So I've always kind of worked out on my own, videos, online videos, going to the gym and just kind of, meandering around different machines. And I think I'm doing this right, and I was kind of directionless. I should put it that way. But I always felt like, I wanted to make sure that I get some kind of fitness in some way, somehow. I did a lot of yoga. I've worked out with other trainers in the past and very yoga oriented, but I think, you take breaks. And then during the breaks, I found myself, right before I met you, I found myself a little, honestly, just kind of lost, not
Mhm.
sure what to do in the gym or how to maximize my workout. That's where
Awesome.
I was
Yeah.
when we met.
Yeah. So you always enjoyed working out. You always that was always part of your routine. Yeah.
I enjoyed the feeling after.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. And I
that's the
think
thing.
it's important to talk about that because I feel like I have clients that come in from so many different walks of life. Some dread the workout, some, are like looking forward to it. For some, it's just a part of their life. So it's nice to kind of go back and kind of see where you were. So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
Let's talk about, okay, so talk about what you said you were feeling a little lost. And so what really made you take that next step into, looking into finding another coach?
Well, I think for me, I'm also a dancer, so like for dancers, we kind of strength train in a different way, just from cardiovascular along with my dancing was like my background is Indian classical dance, as
Mm,
well as hip hop, as well as street dancing and that sort of thing. But it's all very cardiovascular, very high energy. But the strength part of it just comes from endurance. Like your
yeah.
legs. But for me, like I wanted to overall strength train from head to toe. Like
Mm,
shoulders, I had never really worked out my shoulders except for like in Indian dancing, holding a pose, making sure everything is angled properly. Other than that, it was like I want to really take it to the next level, and I didn't know how.
mm,
Um, I would never have thought like some of the exercises we've done together. You feel them 2 days, 3 days afterwards. Just shoulders, just isolated muscles, and yeah, no, it's been like an awakening how one small exercise can really kind of have a lasting effect.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, yeah. So let's talk about that. I know when I met you at first, I love that your energy is amazing. You are, always ready to learn and grow from your experience. And what was your experience like? I think when we started, it was really the training that we were focusing on, right? It wasn't like food or it wasn't like any of that. So the training, let's talk about the first, couple of months of working out together. what were
Mhm.
some of the things that you noticed right away? Was there something that was like, oh, wow, like this is different? Or is there something going on here that I've never experienced? Or was it similar to what you were doing before?
No, it was nothing similar at all. I don't know if you remember the very first workout we had. I like almost fainted, and it wasn't that because you had pushed me. Like I mean, it was my body had done things that it hadn't done before, and it wasn't used to that. Plus, you educated me in the importance of eating before a workout. Like I came to you like I hadn't eaten anything. It was like 10 in the morning. People normally eat before then. I'm not a morning person. I'm not a morning person. And I had not eaten, and we had done a circuit of mostly leg workout that day and some upper body. And I literally almost passed out. And I was like, oh my God, I've never really felt this before. I have danced for 2 hours straight. I have practiced dancing for more than even that, but not like, and I felt winded, but never like to the point where my head was like this. And people, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just saying that like this is what happens when your body's doing something that it's not been pushed to do before.
Yeah.
And I knew after that, lesson learned, you got to eat before you work out.
And it's interesting, right? How food can make such an impact on your workout. And, I meet so many people, and it's a very common problem that I see is that people are not eating before their workouts. So it's one of those things that I don't know why we're not eating before our workouts, but you need the fuel. You wouldn't run your car on empty. So
Right.
I don't know why you would run your body on empty, but I'm glad that we figured that out in the first session.
Yeah.
And it's been
Yeah.
such a fun ride, honestly. I love when I have clients who like to be pushed and who like to, you know, um, enjoy that transformation in their body, right? So it's kind of empowering, I think, personally, even for me, when I push my body to a certain limit and I start to see it change, because I really feel like every workout we do should bring us the results that we desire, or at
Right.
least take us closer to those results. So I know that, our focus was mainly strength training. So it was important for us to target all your different muscle groups. And you also mentioned you wanted to be functionally strong everywhere. Um, I don't know if you remember that you shared with me about one of your piano recitals because you teach piano and you have these amazing recitals. And you were trying to move the piano. Do you remember that story? Like when you were telling me you weren't able to do that ever
Yes.
before. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Oh my God, you remember that? Yeah. So we were getting ready for the recital, and during the right before people started coming into the auditorium, I noticed that the piano was a little off center. And rather than just wait for like one of the guys on hand to come and move it, I just bump it. I'm just doing it myself. And I moved the piano. It's a 9 foot Steinway, and I moved the piano to where it needed to be. It was like maybe 3 feet off. And I felt like, all right. And I think one of the guys, it was the person who runs the auditorium. He was like, well, you've gotten stronger over the years. He actually said, you've gotten stronger.
So yeah, I mean, there is that sense of empowerment from feeling strong, right? And it's not always about looking good, although that is a big and amazing byproduct of working out and doing strength training. But it's empowering to be able to do these things on your own, not having to depend on someone else. And I remember that story, and I remember feeling like, oh, look at that, she's a badass now.
I
So
think that's one of the things I like a lot about you is that and I'm sure your other clients shared stories with you, basically like testimonials without realizing it, you get a sense of, you really feel very proud of all of your clients. It's just this sense of like, you feel a sense of gratification when we win. And
I,
and it's
I
very
love it.
genuine. It's
Aw,
very genuine. And
well,
it comes.
it's what excites me about myself. And when I see it in someone else, it's natural. I mean, I'm sure you feel the same way with your piano students, right? It's like when they do well, you have this sense of pride. I know. That's exactly how I feel. Like I
All the time.
remember, when you did your first push up or, like proper big girl push up, like that's a big deal. It's not easy. You work hard for those things. You do it with the right form. You do it with the strength, the newfound strength you have, and it's exciting. And I
Yeah.
think part of my, you know, um, desire really when I work with my clients is to create that sense of empowerment in people. And then it's fun. And then it's not like they're dreading that workout. They look forward to it, right?
Yes, I do too. I say it all the time, especially with COVID and quarantine. I it is one of the one of the things that I have looked forward to. Even though I'm not a morning person, you're the reason. Like it's a lot of the reason I get up in the morning sometimes is like I put my sneakers on and I go down and then I see you and I'm like, oh, let's do this. You know, it's something I've been looking forward to.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Tell me a little bit about this whole experience during COVID, right? We've been doing workouts virtually. How is that, compared to when we were training in an actual gym? What would you say is, better, worse, different?
So you so people who've never worked out with Chitra, she's extreme. You are extremely creative. I
Mhm.
have to say, without even all of the equipment. I have some equipment. I have, as you know, I have the pull-up bar, I have the yoga ball, and some weights. And then you recommend really good things like the bands to buy that will help do the resistance training. With just that, honestly, I don't feel like I'm missing a beat because we can, modify it to make it harder or easier. Yeah, the pull up bar. Oh my God, I'm working on pull ups, which has always been a goal of mine. I'm so close. I'm so close.
Yes.
I'm
Oh,
so close to
it's
my
coming, baby. It's
first
coming.
pull up. And I would never have thought that because the one machine I thought I was going to miss was the pull up bar machine.
Mhm.
What is that thing called? Is it the assisted pull up?
Assisted pull-up machine.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's the pull-up machine. And just with those rubber bands that you recommended, I mean,
Yeah. The assistant.
game
Yeah.
changer,
Yes, yep.
game changer.
It's we're recreating the same thing in your home. And it's
Yeah.
good that you have that pull-up bar, but even if you didn't, you can get one that's over the door and use
Hmm.
that, and there's ways to make it work. So
Yeah.
that's good. That's a great thing for me to hear because, I always wonder how people feel about, being in a gym versus being at home. But, I always say where there's a will, there's a way. And, a little creativity will go a long way and it
It does.
helps.
The only thing I feel I miss out on is like fist bumps and high fives.
I know, me too. High five. I do miss that. I miss seeing you in person. I miss, being able to have that actual connection in person for sure. And
Yeah.
so, but there are some aspects. I mean, some of my other clients will say, the time saving aspect of it, not having
Yeah.
to worry about the germs, and all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm glad, obviously, I'm really grateful that I'm able to work this through Zoom because without that, I wouldn't have a job. But at the same time, I'm more than happy to hear that my clients are experiencing the same thing. So that's really reassuring for me to know that you're experiencing that same level of difficulty in your workouts without the equipment.
Yeah. No, it's been great. It really has been. I would have
Excellent.
stopped. I would have honestly, I would have stopped if I didn't feel like I was making progress or if I felt like it was a waste of time. But I actually increased my sessions.
You did. That's right. Yeah, we went from 2 to 3 sessions a week. But
That's how
I
much.
think part of it is also, like you said, it's mentally too. It helps you so much during this time to get that workout in, right? It's like I know for me, my workouts are my sanity. And
Yeah,
when I get them in, I'm in a better mood all day long and I feel good and I am more productive and all that good stuff comes from, moving my body.
thousand
Right.
percent. It's just the
Yeah.
blood
Yeah.
flow, and
Yeah.
it's the endorphins. Like
Absolutely.
you do feel good after that.
Yeah.
And when the days that I have, like on the days that I don't work out, I try to do something. But if I don't do anything, and then I sit in my chair teaching piano or teaching music for hours on end, music is my sanity too. But if you're sitting for so long, you feel it afterwards. You feel it at the end of the day, like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something
Sure. And
else.
there's science behind it. So, it's not just something we're feeling, but it's been proven.
Mhm.
All right, cool. So tell me if there is somebody out there listening to us right now and thinking about making a change in their fitness routine, what would you tell them, in terms of, if they're like stuck in a rut and they want to get out, like what is something that they can do to, get out of it?
Well, I mean, I think if you're stuck in a rut, that's actually the sign that you need to find somebody who's a professional in the field who can help, mix it up and change it up. That's why I started working with you was because I felt like I was in a rut. And like I said, doing the same things over and over again, you're not going to get different results. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But don't be reluctant to change. Like, change is one of those things that's, especially when you're an adult, it's hard to embrace change or something different to your daily routine. But you're going to be so much happier for it, just in the sense that you tried something, stepped out of your comfort zone. You talk about comfort zones all the time. When as an individual, as a human being, when you're in a comfort zone, if you feel like you're not growing a little bit in any whatever field you're in, like for me, even music, I'll pull out like a difficult piece of sheet music and just sit there and spend time running through it, or practice a song that I would never have normally thought of attacking, and go and just do it, just to pull myself out of a comfort zone.
I think the quarantine has kind of forced us to think about what's important and what we enjoy, and that's
Yeah.
why a lot of people are picking up hobbies that they had as kids, or, getting into new things and learning, taking these online courses or hiring people to help them, train with like music or whatever it is, because they
Yeah.
finally have the time and the bandwidth to think about themselves, because we were so busy running around in our lives that we had no time to think about what was going on.
Yeah,
So
no,
I think,
this has in so many ways been a blessing.
yeah, I know. So that's an awesome place to wrap up our interview today.
Yeah.
Let's hope that we've inspired people to take some action, if at all, and help them get out of their rut, whether it's in fitness, whether it's in, life, whatever it is, change it up, challenge yourself, and, just get out there and try something different, right? Any last words that
Absolutely.
you want to share?
No, I think that sums it up. I mean, COVID has, been crazy and terrible in so many ways, but at the same time, it's been an eye opener. And for me, especially, my journey with you has just been amplified this year, 2020 into 2021. I mean, it really has gone to that next level because of you. I mean, I'm feeling stronger than ever before. Honestly, I'm not just. This is not just smoke and mirrors. It's really, truly. I feel much stronger from the inside. And on top of all of the nutrition that you teach, which is a whole other thing, she knows her stuff. Like when it comes to nutrition, like you just know exactly what needs to be done. And so I've modified that. I've started cooking more at home. Like I never really did that before, as like not as much as I'm doing now. And it's because you keep me motivated. You're like that voice just saying, if I want pizza. And I do eat pizza. I mean, I do, but like at the same time,
Moderation. Yeah.
all moderation. At the same time, I'm just, you're there. Maybe put a protein in here. Put a protein in that.
I love that. Well, listen, I am so grateful that you continue to work out with me even during COVID. And you don't know what that does for me. Honestly, it keeps me fulfilled and it keeps me going as well. So I'm grateful that we continue to get to work together. And I love being in your company and just, having our conversations. And, it's not always just about the workout. I feel like we've become friends over time and we've gotten to know each other well. And, we can really talk about anything. And I think, you know,
Yeah.
all of my clients, I feel like I have this friendship with them and I think it's so valuable. So to have
Yeah.
that to cherish during this time makes me feel connected and, feel a part of a community that I would have definitely missed if I couldn't have it. So
Aw.
thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for doing this interview. I really appreciate you. All
Oh,
right.
I appreciate you and thank you for all that you do. You're amazing.
All right. How awesome was that? Another episode in the books. I want to hear what your favorite takeaways were from today's episode. Don't be shy. Write to me in my DMs or tag me on social media and let me know what your favorite part was. What is one actionable item that you are going to take away from today? Because we can listen all we want, but if we don't implement, then we're not getting anywhere closer to our goals. So thanks again for being here. Thanks for listening. Thank you for being a part of my warrior tribe. I appreciate every single one of you. And I would love it if you would hit subscribe or leave a review because that will help me get to more people that need to hear this.